You lied to me, this whole time? Daniel didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. The silence in that apartment was louder than any tell-all meltdown we've ever seen on 90 Day Fiancé. And Lisa? She didn't argue. She didn't deflect. She just sat there, shaking, and whispered, "I was scared you'd leave." That's the moment everything changed. Because for weeks, TLC framed Lisa as emotional, dramatic, maybe even unstable. But here's the part TLC cameras didn't show. This wasn't just about a misunderstanding. This was about a secret marriage. A legal status that wasn't fully resolved, and a relationship built on half-truths that were about to explode in real time. And while Lisa was breaking down, confessing to Daniel with tears running down her face, another bomb was detonating in a completely different storyline. Forrest, standing in front of his mother, delivering the most brutal ultimatum we've seen this season.
Two couples, two ticking clocks, one 90-day dream quietly falling apart. Let's start with Lisa and Daniel, because what happened in that apartment wasn't just a fight. It was a fracture. Lisa's health scare earlier this season already made fans uneasy. She collapsed under stress. She admitted she hadn't been sleeping. Reddit threads lit up with concern. Some viewers thought Daniel was pushing her too hard about wedding timelines and immigration paperwork. Others argued Lisa was hiding something deeper. And they were right. The truth, Lisa was still legally entangled with her ex. Not emotionally, legally. Paperwork that hadn't fully cleared. A marriage technically not dissolved in the way Daniel believed. And if you know the K-1 visa process, you know that's not a minor detail. That's a deal breaker. I know what you're thinking, why wouldn't she just tell him? Because in the 90-day universe, timing is everything. And fear makes people stupid. Lisa admitted she delayed telling Daniel because she was terrified he'd walk away. She already felt insecure. Younger fiancé, cultural differences, visa pressure, and then this. She convinced herself she could fix it quietly. That it would resolve before it mattered. This is where the 90-day dream quietly fell apart. Daniel didn't yell. He didn't storm out. That's what made it worse. He just looked betrayed. The kind of betrayal that isn't loud but sinks in slowly. But here's the detail that surfaced on Instagram that TLC never addressed. Screenshots circulating from a mutual friend suggested Daniel may have known there were legal complications but didn't press for details because production encouraged suspense. If that's true, that changes everything. Was he blindsided, or selectively ignorant? And if you're new here, this is exactly why we break down the parts TLC edits around. If you want the real behind-the-scenes tea, the Reddit leaks, the deleted Instagram comments, the production tricks, make sure you're subscribed. Because this season, it's not what it looks like. Now, while Lisa was confessing through tears, another relationship was combusting in a completely different way. Forrest. If you've been watching closely, you've seen the tension building between Forrest and his mother. Every time his relationship was mentioned, she'd smirk, question motives, publicly belittle his partner. And Forrest, he stayed quiet, until he didn't. That dinner scene wasn't just awkward. It was a breaking point. He looked at her and said, "If you can't respect my relationship, then I'm choosing her." That wasn't editing magic. That was a son drawing a line. And if you've followed Forrest's journey, you know how huge that is. Family approval isn't just tradition in his world, it's foundation. His mother's influence has shaped every decision he's made. Jobs, moves, relationships. So when he issued that ultimatum, it wasn't rebellious. It was survival. But here's the twist fans on Twitter X caught immediately. In a now-deleted comment, Forrest's cousin hinted that producers pushed for a stronger reaction from him to heighten the storyline. Does that mean the ultimatum was scripted? Not exactly, but it suggests the tension may have been simmering longer than we were shown. Still, his mother's response. That wasn't acting. She didn't apologize. She didn't soften. She doubled down, questioned loyalty, implied manipulation, and in that moment, viewers split into two camps. Team Forrest, who believe he finally grew up, and Team Mom, who think he's being isolated from family by a relationship moving too fast under K-1 pressure. That's the thing about this franchise. The visa clock doesn't just test couples. It tests families. And we saw it again with Trisha. Trisha's reluctance to tell her father about her engagement wasn't just nerves. It was fear of judgment. Fear of cultural backlash. Fear that once the family gets involved, everything changes. Because once a father disapproves on 90 Day, it rarely ends well. Fans on Reddit pointed out something subtle in Trisha's confessionals. She kept saying, "We'll figure it out," instead of, "I'll tell him." That hesitation speaks volumes. She wants love. She wants the fairy tale. But she also wants family harmony. And sometimes, you don't get both. But back to Lisa, because what happened after her confession is what really shook the fandom. Daniel didn't leave that night. He stayed, and that choice divided the internet. Some viewers called him weak. Others called him compassionate. A few speculated he's financially invested in making this work, that walking away would mean lost time, lost money, lost pride. But here's something TLC glossed over. Daniel quietly asked for documentation the next morning. Calm, direct, "I need to see everything." That wasn't drama, that was boundaries. And Lisa agreed. That's resilience. Messy, flawed resilience. Now let's zoom out, because Lisa's deception wasn't isolated. This season has been a masterclass in dishonesty. Joshua lied about his living situation. Remember the tiny apartment reveal? The one he framed as temporary. Reddit detectives found listing photos suggesting he'd been there far longer than he admitted. Rick's infidelity rumors. They weren't just rumors. A woman came forward on Instagram claiming months of private messages while filming was underway. Screenshots, dates, receipts. Every couple this season has a fracture point rooted in truth avoidance. And the common denominator? Fear. Fear of losing love. Fear of looking foolish on national television. Fear of immigration timelines collapsing. But here's what makes Lisa's breakdown different. She didn't deflect. She didn't gaslight. She owned it. "I thought I could fix it before you found out." That line hit hard, because it's human. And after her health scare earlier this season, when she physically collapsed under stress, that confession carried weight. We're not just watching reality TV characters. We're watching people cracking under pressure most of us will never experience. The K-1 visa process isn't romantic. It's bureaucratic warfare mixed with emotional roulette. 90 days, a wedding, legal scrutiny, cultural adjustment, public judgment, now add secrets. This is where the 90-day dream quietly falls apart for a lot of couples. Not in explosive fights, but in paperwork, in withheld information, in, "I'll tell you later," moments. Meanwhile, Forrest's storyline continues to escalate. After his ultimatum, sources claim he spent limited time at his family home. Instagram activity suggests distance. Fewer family photos, more couple-focused posts. Coincidence? Maybe, but fans noticed. And that's the power of this fandom. Nothing slips through. Some believe Forrest is repeating a classic 90-day pattern, prioritizing romantic intensity over lifelong family bonds. Others argue that healthy adulthood requires exactly what he did, setting boundaries. Who's right? It depends on whether you see his mother's behavior as protective or controlling. And let's not forget, she publicly belittled his partner more than once. That's not just concern, that's humiliation. I know what you're thinking. Will he regret this? That's the question hanging over everything. Because love under pressure feels urgent. Family estrangement lasts longer. As for Lisa and Daniel, their future now hinges on transparency. If those legal documents check out, if the marriage truly is resolved, maybe this becomes a painful but survivable chapter. But if there's another layer, if there's more we haven't seen, then this isn't resilience, it's postponement. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes couples stay together not because trust is restored, but because leaving feels more embarrassing. Reality TV amplifies that. You don't just break up. You break up publicly. Fans dissect it. Memes circulate. Narratives harden. So when Lisa chose honesty, it wasn't just about Daniel. It was about reclaiming control of her story. But is it too late? Social media remains divided. Some say she deserves forgiveness for coming clean. Others insist deception at that level is foundational damage. Forrest's situation mirrors it in a different way, honesty versus harmony. He chose honesty with his mother. Brutal honesty. But honesty doesn't guarantee peace. And that's the pattern threading through this entire season of 90 Day Fiancé. Love isn't the problem, secrecy is. So here we are, Lisa in tears, asking for trust she momentarily broke. Daniel calculating whether forgiveness is wisdom or weakness. Forrest choosing partnership over parental approval. Trisha hesitating at the edge of family confrontation. And a fanbase split down the middle, arguing in comment sections like it's their own relationships on the line. Because maybe that's why we watch. Not for the weddings, not for the airport hugs, but for these moments, when the fantasy cracks and the real people underneath have to decide who they are when love gets complicated. So let me ask you something. If you were Daniel, would you stay after discovering that kind of secret? If you were Forrest, would you risk losing your mother to protect your partner? And most importantly, can love built on delayed truth ever become stable enough to survive the next 90 days? Tell me what you think. Because something tells me, this season's biggest breakup hasn't even happened yet.
Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe Daniel John Updates YouTube channel for more update news.